So today we're going to continue from where we left off in the previous video, where I show you up to the single crochet stitch, which is what we have here. Today I'm going to start off with a stitch that basically works off of the single crochet stitch. So as long as you know how to do that, then this one shouldn't be too difficult to do. So we're just going to work along the same piece here that we had started. So for first step is we're going to do what I was showing you yesterday, is where you do a chain, an extra chain on your piece, so that when you turn around it doesn't dip down at the ends, and it just makes it more even across the row. Okay, so now for the double crochet, the only real difference to it is that instead of going right into the hole underneath the V there, you're going to start by taking the yarn that's in your left hand. You're going to be wrapping it around your crochet hook first. And then you take your hook and you put it through the hole that's just underneath the V on top. You're going to grab the yarn from the other side and pull it back on through. So in this case you have 3 loops on your hook instead of 2, like with the single crochet stitch. And then you're going to once again take the yarn in your left hand. You're going to wrap it around your crochet hook. Now you're not going to pull them through all of the loops on your hook at once, even though it's very tempting. First you're going to take the yarn that you've just hooked onto your crochet hook and you're going to pull it through the first 2 loops. Like that. So now you have 2 loops on your hook. And then once again you're going to take the yarn, you're going to wrap it around your hook, and then you're going to pull it through those last 2 loops. So there's a couple extra steps in there, but as you can see, the size of the size of a double crochet stitch is like the size of 2 single crochet stitches. And it allows it, I find, it makes it a bit stretchier as well. So this is definitely an ideal stitch for bigger things like blankets and stuff that need a little bit of give to them. So we'll show you that again here. So first you just wrap the yarn around your crochet hook to start. Then you find the next V in your lineup. You put the hook underneath that V, through the hole just underneath it there. You grab the yarn again from your left hand on the other side. You pull it through, so then you have 3 loops on your hook. And then you just wrap the yarn around your hook again. You pull it through the first 2 loops, not all 3, just the first 2. So then you're left with 2 loops on your hook. Then you wrap the yarn around again, and then you pull it through those last 2 loops. And that is your double crochet stitch. And I'll just finish going through the rest of this piece here. Just finish up for you, and then when I get to the end, I'll show you another stitch that says it's a simplified version of the double crochet stitch. Alright, so we finished doing the double crochets all the way across. So now, again, just like before, we're going to take the yarn, we're going to wrap it around your hook, and just make an extra little chain at the end there. Then turn your project around. Now the next stitch I'm going to show you, it's very similar to the double crochet, but it takes away one of the steps. And it's basically a simplified version. It's called the half double crochet. So it's not quite as big as a double crochet stitch, but it's still bigger than a single crochet. So all you're going to do is you're going to take the yarn, you're going to wrap it around your hook, just like in the double crochet, and then you're going to take your hook, hook it just underneath the V on top, so through the hole just under the V, grab the yarn from the other side. So now, just like in the double crochet, we have 3 loops on our hook, but this time you can wrap the yarn over, and you can pull it through all 3 loops this time. So it takes out that second step there. So yeah, and just again, you grab the yarn over, poke it underneath the V, grab the yarn from the other side, pull it through, so now you have 3 loops, and then you just yarn over and pull it through those 3 loops. Yeah, this is much easier, much quicker to do, and it's still a pretty big stitch, and in my opinion it works just as well, if not better, than like a full double crochet stitch. Yeah, so I'll just show you that one more time. So you yarn over, and then you take your hook and you poke it underneath the V through the hole. You grab the yarn from the other side, pull it back through, so you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, and then just pull it through all 3 loops. There we go. And I'll just finish going the rest of the way, and be right back with you in a moment. Okay, so now you see we've got a pretty nice piece going on here, quite a few rows and pretty thick. So from here, there are a lot of stitches that are based on the single crochet stitch. I'm not going to show you all of them today, but those 2 are 2 of the main stitches that I use for a lot of my pieces. And one thing I will show you here, because now when you look at it here, you can see it's thicker on this side, but then thinner on this side. So how do you make it look the same all the way around? So this is can be done in many different ways, but what I tend to do is, again, I just make an extra chain at the end there. And then what we're essentially going to do, we're going to do the single crochet all the way around it. But now it can be a little bit tricky because it's not as precise as it is when you work in the regular rows, because there's not like even holes throughout the sides here or down below for you to put the stitch into. So for this you kind of just have to use your best judgment. Try and make it as even as possible. I tend to like kind of use my left finger here to kind of lead the way, so I know which hole I put a stitch into already. So just a reminder of the single crochet stitch. So you just take your hook and you put it through what you presume to be the closest hole to put it in. You grab the yarn from the other side and pull it through, so you have 2 loops. Then you yarn over again and pull it through them both. And then the second one, because I just put it in through here, so it would be approximately here where you would want to put your next stitch. So you just put it through, grab the yarn, pull it back through, yarn over, and pull it through the 2 loops. And then the next one, I'd say about here. Again, just grab the yarn from the other side, yarn over, and pull it through. And the next one will be here, so grab the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through. Okay, so now we're at the next corner here. So what I like to do, if you want to keep a rounded corner, you can just go into that one and then just keep putting a single one to each one. But if you want to have more of a pointed corner to it, what I'd recommend is, so we'll just make 1 stitch here first. So just do the single crochet stitch here, and then just put another one in that exact same hole. So that way, as you can see, it creates more of a corner at the end, whereas otherwise it would just kind of go downwards and around in more of like a circular pattern. And you can just, if you want to make more of a pointed corner, you just keep going around it, and just at each corner just put 2 single stitches in it, in that corner stitch, instead of just 1, and that will give it more of a noticeable corner. And then now just here you're just going to be working along the original chain that you made. So you just find each chain and you just go through so just the hole that's just beneath the chain here. So as you can see, you're kind of like there's 2 pieces of yarn kind of intertwining. That was part of the chain there, so you're just going right underneath that. Just right underneath there, and again, just grabbing the yarn from the other side, yarning over and pulling it through. And you just go into each and every one. And this way it makes like a nice little frame around the entire thing. Looks the same all the way around, and it just makes it look nicer. This is also really good when you're working in different colors. After you tie the loose ends, because usually when you switch to a new color, you'll cut off the previous color that you were using, and then after you tie the loose ends, it's good to go around it and make a border like this, because it keeps the loose ends from coming out, and it just looks so much nicer. So we'll just go into each chain here. And you can choose to use whichever stitch you want to do the border. It doesn't have to be a single crochet stitch. I find it easiest to do that, but you can get creative and do whichever one you want, really. That's what I like about crocheting. I mean, there are ways to do the stitches, but as for making things, there aren't really any specific rules. You can just do it however you want. That's how I do it. I very rarely follow patterns anymore. I just look at a picture of something or get an idea of something in my head, and then I just kind of figure it out from there. Like, what kind of shapes would I need to make? How would they fit together? And I just wing it. Yeah, so again, just like the other corner, so we're going to do one stitch in there, and then we're going to do another stitch in the exact same corner there. There we go. And then again, you just use your best judgment to figure out which is the next hole that you're going to put your next stitch in for doing the other side here. Go. Another thing about crocheting is it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, nothing in life is perfect. So as long as you're happy with what you made, then that's honestly what matters. Yeah. And now for the ending here, because we're just going into the very last corner from where we started, for this one, we're just going to do a little slip stitch to finish it off. So what you do is you take your crochet hook and you go into that first stitch that you made, you grab the yarn from the other side, you pull it through, and then you also pull it through the chain that's on your hook. You just pull it through that, and that just kind of ties it off nicely at the end. And then usually you cut off however much you want to leave behind. So you just cut off the tail, and then you can just pull the rest of it through and then just sew it into, yeah, you can just sew it into the project itself. So you see there's lots of space where you can just kind of like sew it underneath, and that'll just hide the little tail piece there, and it'll make it nice and neat and pretty looking. Alright, so that's where we're going to end here for today. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to work in a round. This is great for if you're making hats, or mittens, or toys, which is what I primarily use it to make. And again, we'll just take it from there. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on my video. And if you want to check out other things that I've already made, just visit my Facebook page, which I'll leave down below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.